All right, so I'm starting a series of daily quizzes, and this is to help those students who are struggling. Okay, and the reason I'm doing it is you got to work. I'm going to find out now. I'm going to give you three e to the x graphs. I think they're 10 seconds or less, and then three evaluations of some logarithms. And I'll ask you one of the three graphs tomorrow, how to graph, how to sketch, and one of the three evaluations. So let's have at it with minimal discussion here. It's just mechanics. More in-depth conceptual awareness can be had by going to the channel and looking at some of the e to the x playlist calculations, and same thing with the logs. All right, so everything I'm going to do is based on e to the 0 is 1 and e to the 1.1 is 3. So I'm going to e to the 1, 2.71 to the x. All right, this is the e to the x calculation, and you need to know those values. All right. So here goes 6 problems. I hope I'm done 3 minutes from now, but let's find out. So I want to get 2 times 1 plus 5 and 2 times 3 plus 5. I'll erase that. All right, just the mechanics now. I see the asymptote. I see e to a positive x, so I have growth. I'm going to create a 3-to-1 ratio. I'm going to see 2 plus 5 is 7. And 3 times 2 is 6 plus 5 is 11. Going to get those values if I can make x minus 4 0, and if I can make x minus 4 1.1. 5.1, excuse me. So I'm hoping you can do that and learn to do that quickly and easily. What do I do over here? I see an asymptote of 11. I see a positive x, exponential growth. I know I'm going to get a 3-to-1 ratio, so that's maybe 3 times bigger. Maybe should have been up a little higher. I'm going to jump 7 units, and then I'm going to jump 21. Not going to show those, of course. But what makes a 0? 0 gets me e to the 0 is 1. 7 plus 11 is 18. And then I want to make this 1.1 because that's going to triple the 7. 21 plus 11, 32. And what makes 1.1? 2.2. And I'm done. Let's do exponential decay. That's an e to the minus x, reciprocation. Instead of doubling, I'd be cutting in half, so on and so forth. What do I see? I see a 2. I see a tripling, but in the other direction. So let's go there and there. I'm going to make this thing 0. I can make it 0 by plugging in -5, the opposite of negative. Oops, sorry. I must have changed something. I did because I was going to show that. So there we go. Back up and running. So -5. I hope everybody can see that. 2 times 0 is 0. Add 5 and then take the opposite of it. So -5 gets me e to the 0, which is a jump of 5, which is my smaller jump. Plus 2 is 7. So that gets me this one. And we picked what? -5. Now, 3 times bigger on decay is going to be to the left. So I want that to equal 1.1. So there's 2.2. Add 5 to that. That's 7.2. And then take the opposite of that. -7.2 is to the left of -5. And that's going to get me 1.1. E to the 1.1 is 3 times 5 is 15 plus 2 is 17. So that takes care of that. All right, so I have a logarithm, and a logarithm is value of the exponents. Value of the exponents. So really all I'm looking at here is what's going on exponentially. And I see -4 times -2, which is -8. But I'll do it out a little more carefully for you. So 2 to the 7th, 2 to the 3 is 2 to the -4. And -2 times -4, well, there's +8. So I made a little careless here. I'm not going to do the video again. So I wanted +8. Good thing I checked it again. Oftentimes when I'm doing these videos, I'm talking to you and I'm not giving my full attention to just looking at the numbers. That's what happens, and that's carelessness. Okay, but was corrected. And now if my answer is +8, then it seems to me that these are really inverse operations. Enough said. So you try this one, see if you can look at that and just write the answer. All right, this time I'll stop talking and I'll look at it a little more carefully. Okay, I did. I hope I didn't make a careless error. But I'm looking at the exponential activity, which means that ln is base e. We don't write the e. And so I want this thing to be in e notation. And that's going to be my answer because I'm looking at the exponents. That's all I'm looking at. It's the exponential activity on top of e. So why don't I simplify this? E times e to the 10, make it e to the 11. Rules of exponents tell me that that's 7. And I think -3 times 7 is -21, and that's what I'm doing. And the other way that this could have been expressed was in a little bit more of a complicated calculation. Well, the ln e to the 7 over e to the 2, well, I'm hoping that you can look at that and go, well, my answer is going to be e to the 5 in this case. Why? Because e to the 7 over e to the 2 is e to the 5. And now I hope you know what you're looking at there. I think you're looking at the number 5. And so I think I end up with e to the 5. And I'm going to ask you 2 questions. One, I'm going to have you graph one of these exact questions and one of these exact computations. All right, and that's your daily quiz for tomorrow. And I'm going to continue that for the remainder of the term with all the places I see students struggling. Not everybody's struggling, and you don't want to be in the category of I am struggling. You want to be in the category of I am not struggling, which means you got to look at this and think about it. And that's what I'm going to make you do. See you in class with a quiz in my hand. You want to be on time.